Jessica.
Greetings, Rotarians. It is my honor to be before you today on behalf of the Vocational Services Committee. A couple of years ago, we created a vocational service award with the goal of recognizing someone outside of our club and outside of the Rotary family for their contributions to our community and to the world, and for being like a Rotarian. Our recipient today is Dennis Rael from Los Bagels. He's here with us this morning with his family, as I mentioned earlier. We're going to learn a little bit more about him over the next few minutes. First, however, I want to talk about this award from a little bit bigger perspective. Often when you hear from me, I'm representing the Vocational Service Committee, and I will tell you that, or remind you that vocations are at the heart of Rotary. Our founder, Paul Harris, brought people together from various different vocations and said, if we come together in the name of service, we can accomplish a great deal. And just look at what our organization has done since it was founded so many years ago. Secondly, we can look to the object of Rotary, which is one of our sort of guiding tenets. In the second component, the object of Rotary is to encourage and foster high ethical standards and professions, the recognition of the worthiness of all useful occupations, and the dignifying of each Rotarian's occupation as an opportunity to serve society. So for this award, we turn to all of you, members of our club, to be able to nominate someone who exemplifies the ideals of our organization in their vocation, showing high ethical standards in their treatment of their customers, their employees, and their community. We received a number of nominations. Thank you so much for everyone who shared an individual for us to consider. There's some amazing people out there in our community who exemplify the ideals of our organization, and they aren't yet Rotarians. But today, we meet our newest recipient. Dennis Rael, as many of you know, owns and runs Humboldt County's own first and well-beloved bagel store. Dennis and his co-founders created fusion cuisine long before fusion cuisine became a thing with their Mexican-Jewish bakery. He served the local and global community beyond his business. And I'm not just talking about the international experience that any one of us can have by going to a Los Bagels store and seeing people wearing their Los Bagels t-shirts everywhere in the world, from the heights of Machu Picchu to the depths of diving in Phuket, Thailand. He has served on the board of the North Coast Regional Land Trust for many years. He's actively supporting the Humboldt Bay Trail project that's under construction, and he was involved in forging the Arcata-Camuapa Sister City project and relationship between Arcata and Camuapa in Nicaragua. And much closer to home, we got to know Dennis and his family a little bit better when his daughter Trula became our own personal ambassador to Italy through the Rotary Youth Exchange Program in 2015-16. And she wrote so beautifully about the experiences on her blog, Trula in Italy. Ian Schatz is the Rotarian who nominated Dennis for this award. And in selecting Dennis as the recipient, the committee really appreciated Ian's comments, for he spoke about Dennis providing a real service to the community in a number of ways. The Los Bagels restaurant features recipes and ideas from all different countries across the world, promoting cultural tolerance and enthusiasm through food. His staff includes people from all walks of life, from business students at HSU to Humboldt County's colorfully ringed and tattooed. The business is dependent on its employees, and Dennis also welcomes high school and college students as employees, working with their school schedules, and more importantly, helping them learn the skills of holding down a job. So Ian is with us this morning. Can you come on forward, Ian, and share us a little bit more about your inspiration for nominating Dennis for this award?
You know, part of what you know of somebody is from what you hear about them in the community. And I've had the privilege of knowing many people. Dennis doesn't know this, but since high school, Jeff's dad actually wandered down there, I think pretty close to when Los Bagels opened. And of course, we all became enthralled with the product. But what came to pass is I know several people from my youth and from my adulthood who have had their first jobs at Los Bagels. And I have now the privilege of being the employer of one of his past employees. And they're well prepared in the workplace. They've all said they feel that the family in their business treats people fairly, mentors them as workers and community members, provides opportunities for them to serve when possible. And then, of course, his family, you know, truly was an excellent ambassador, and that speaks very highly of his parents. Dennis was one of the few parents that year that basically got out of the way and let Trula do her thing, which was not what it is what I ask of the parents, but it's unusual for them to take me literally at my word that if you just let her do this, it'll be okay. And he even helped his wife through anyway, Dennis, you know, thank you for all your service and openness to serving the community, and just wanted to recognize you for that. So, thanks.
Thanks, Ian. In addition to Ian's words, I wanted to share some comments from some folks in the community who we reached out to who have worked with Dennis in various capacities. First from Dan Erisman, who's the Executive Director of the North Coast Regional Land Trust. Dennis brings such incredible energy, enthusiasm, and good to our region, both through his business ventures and his engagement in civic organizations. The work he's accomplished over the years and the support he continues to provide our community is without question worthy of recognition. From Reese Hughes, for 7 years I've been working with Dennis on a number of projects intended to make our community a better place. The projects range from working with Humboldt Live to advocating for a Humboldt Bay Trail, from supporting efforts to save ranches in our rural landscape to improving communication and awareness between HSU and local business people about issues of race. Dennis not only commits his time, but puts his money where his mouth is. If Dennis says he'll do something, he does it. I can think of no one I respect more. And finally, from Peter German, co-founder, my experience with Dennis over more than 30 years, 3 decades, has shown what a broad spectrum of community work he has done. He has helped form the RCAS sister city relationship using both his language skills along with his ability to make people connections. He has mentored many young entrepreneurs both within Los Bagels and through his university connections. He's always encouraged those around him to reach across cultural divides, bringing together vegetarians and beef producers, environmentalists and resource developers, while at the same time holding clear positions of integrity for himself. Dennis, thank you. From this Rotary Club, from all of us as members of this Rotary Club, and from the broader Arcata community, thank you for being part of this community, and thank you for being part of the world. We appreciate you sharing your skills and making our world a better place for all of us to live in. Thank you also for practicing your occupation with integrity, for inspiring those who you work with to reach beyond themselves. At this time, I'd like to invite you to please come forward so I can explain the components of the award and make the presentation. In creating this award, our committee decided that we wanted to have 3 different components of it. We wanted an opportunity to celebrate you as a non-Rotarian in your vocation and your service to the community, but we also wanted to think about this celebration providing support and encouragement and education to the next generation of workers. So we have 3 components of the recognition. The first is having you here with us today, celebrating you, making a point to be able to say, hey, Rotary members, check out this amazing member of our community. But also, the second component is to welcome you to a special circle of Rotarians. We will bestow the honor of a Paul Harris Fellow upon you. And the third component is that we will be making 2 financial donations in your name. So for component 1, I present to you this certificate. In celebration of your professional achievement and in respect of your representation of the ideals of our organization in the ways you treat your employees, the greater community, and the world. For component 2, I'll ask Terry Clark to please come forward. She's going to share a little bit about the Rotary Foundation and the Paul Harris Fellowship recognition in particular.
Congratulations. And Dennis is going to be the second Paul Harris Fellow in his family because Trula is the first. Paul Harris was our founder. Rotary has been here since 1905. And in the 40s, there was an endowment called the Rotary Foundation was begun. And actually, it was earlier than that because the Rotary Foundation is celebrating its 100th anniversary. And so in honor of your service to our community and to make you kind of an honorary Rotarian dish, you are a Paul Harris Fellow. Here's some jewelry to indicate that. And the certificate will be here soon.
Thank you.
accomplishments you've made in your vocation, we want to pay that forward to the next generation. And to that end, we will be making a $250 donation in your name to the Arcata High College and Career Center. A program that serves young people, and in fact serves every student that's at Arcata High making decisions about their future vocations, our next generation of workers and professionals. So that will go off to Arcata High. The second donation is also in your name, but we need your help this time. We want you to tell us what nonprofit entity you would like to be able to have us support, and we will be making a $250 donation to that entity as well in your name. So this concludes the formal award presentation. Ladies and gentlemen of the club, I would like to present to you our newest Vocational Service Award recipient and our newest Paul Harris Fellow, Dennis Rael.
I'm surprised, I'm shocked, and I'm incredibly honored. And when I first heard about this, to me it seemed a little bit ironic that I was nominated from Ian, and he is somebody who I look upon who should be sitting up here in my shoes, because he does so much, and I have so much admiration for him. But then I look around this room here, and so many people that I've had an opportunity to work with, both within Los Bagels, whether it's Charlie, who was one of our general managers, who's still on our board, or then I look at your next president coming up, Dustin, who's somebody that I worked with for Ian's at Los Bagels, so it was great. And then I look at Barbara, who I was able to work with early on and inspire her, hopefully, to go to Nicaragua and get involved with that program, and then go to whole different realms in her life. And then other individuals that I've gotten involved with on a variety of other things that have nothing to do with Los Bagels in particular. So it's a real honor, and for both of these, not just the awards, but also the financial donations you're doing. I think what I'd like to go ahead and do is take that $250 and put that toward one of the most latest projects I've been working on a lot with Carol Vandermeer, which is the Humboldt Bay Trail Endowment Fund, which we're getting ready to have our Trail Summit tomorrow. And you know, in a few short months, and little than over 3 months, we've been able to raise over $111,000 toward this endowment. So I invite, there's a number of people in this room who have already been involved with that, and I invite other people to come to the Trail Summit tomorrow or become involved in this project, because real soon we're going to be able to walk or ride or bike or push your stroller from Arcata to Eureka. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.